A good discussion. I think the people have dealt with the issues in a range of ways, but I think that actually shows that a debate on this question around my bill, particularly if it went to the Select Committee, wouldn't be divisive. People have been listening to each other and expressing a wide range of views. There are different sections of society around this issue. There's the 30 or 40% who support a republic in the polls. Regularly, the number goes up and down a bit, and then there's the category that Simon Bridges represents. He described himself as agnostic, that isn't quite satisfied with the present situation. He said it is a bit of an anachronism that the head of state should be there because of who their parents are. If there is, and those two blocks together, the agnostic, dissatisfied and the Republicans, make up actually a majority of our community. I think the people are actually monarchists, a very small proportion of society. So why not, if we're not satisfied, as most of the people in this House aren't, have a discussion around my bill in the Select Committee? And the idea that somehow it's a distraction, you know, we don't say that. We have a range of bills discussed in this House, and I don't get people standing up and saying, oh, this bill's a distraction, that bill's a distraction. You discuss the bill on its merits and go forward. And as to whether it's minor or not so important, well, this afternoon we had a bill that we all supported in this House, the Select Committee, on whether there should be compulsory secret ballots for unions engaging in industrial action. And the unions said, we already do it. Was that a minor bill or a major bill? You could say it was quite minor if nobody could really see a reason for it, but we supported it. To Select Committee, have a discussion. Why not this bill here? The question of the Treaty of Waitangi is a sort of a contradiction here. Simon Bridges says, oh, you don't want this bill to go through to Select Committee because it might bring up issues related to the Treaty of Waitangi. I understand that the National Māori parties are setting up a body to discuss the constitutional nature of the Treaty of Waitangi. That's going to happen fairly soon. And why not? What's the Māori party scared of? How is this going to undermine the Treaty of Waitangi, and why won't they answer my point that I've made very directly, that since 1947 there has been zero, and I repeat the word zero, constitutional relationship between the Queen or King of Great Britain and the Treaty of Waitangi. That was severed in 1947. So how can discussing this issue undermine a relationship with the treaty? The Crown, yes, the Crown is important, but the Crown is in this room. The Parliament and the Government are the Crown, and that is the relationship between Māori and the Crown. It's a relationship between Māori and what's represented in this room, Parliament and the Government. And if we refuse to accept that, and it seems the Māori Party strangely is refusing to accept that reality, you are actually undermining the Treaty of Waitangi because you are not directing your relationship to the people responsible. The Queen of New Zealand is completely separate constitutionally from the Queen of Great Britain, totally separate. The Queen of New Zealand has got to obey advice of the Government of New Zealand. The Government of Great Britain, the Queen of Great Britain, has absolutely no relationship to that constitutional relationship. So I think the Māori Party is misleading Parliament by saying that the treaty is in any way in danger. In fact, they're misdirecting the attention and the nature of the relationship. The fear that we'll have an executive president, well, that's a pretty weak one, really, because clearly, while there might be a slight independence, more independence of an independently elected New Zealand-based president, the powers in my bill don't allow that person to override Parliament whatsoever. The real question is one of national identity. We are an independent, bicultural, multicultural nation in the South Pacific, not off the shores of Great Britain. We need an independent, New Zealand-based head of state selected by a democratic process, and it's tragic that so many MPs in this House are not accepting that, and that parties like the National Party, the Māori Party and the ACT Party, in spite of the fact that all of them have people in their ranks that support this bill, they've whipped those people to oppose this bill. There is a majority for my bill in this House. It has been denied by the party whips and fear to really face up to the issue, and I think that's quite disgraceful.